about to get started like in 2 minutes, y'all. Come on in here. 2 minutes, we getting started. 2 minutes. What's up, y'all? I'm here. So a trial date is set. A trial date is set for Drake and the Snitch campaign. And this is why, I don't really use the word snitch like that because I'm not in all that bullshit ass gangster talk. Because I'm not a gangster. I'm a square. The reason why Drake is a snitch in this situation is because there was a crime that's been committed on music, and Drake has been a steady part of that crime. The crime is music fans have been getting cheated for a long time over equal opportunity to hear the best artists on display. Music fans have been getting cheated. And we've been getting cheated, and Drake has been the primary beneficiary, I should say, of the day-to-day we've been victims of this. I'm sorry, I had to type that in real quick. We've been victims of the day-to-day fan. We've been victims of this. Every artist, the regular artists, we haven't been able to hear because Drake gets played once an hour. Drake gets featured in the algorithm. We saw those. I'm sure everyone has seen by now. The resurfacing of 2018. Drake on even gospel playlists. They put Drake on Euro house playlists. They put him on gospel in playlists. It ain't a motherfucking bit of church in his music. And he's been in on this crime. And the primary beneficiary of this crime has now sued or did preemptive action, in preparation for a lawsuit. So now a trial date has been set. A hearing date, not trial date. A hearing date has been set. It has been set for December 20th. So that is 14 days from now. The first hearing in this discovery case is going to be heard against Drake and Universal Music Group. So what's at stake? What's coming? And where does this come from? That's what we're talking about today. With that being said, welcome chat room. Thank y'all again for joining. We're about to have fun today. And get your Black American Music Family Tree hoodies at DewanB.com. Get the hoodies at DewanB.com. Very, very, very comfortable hoodies. They go now. My hoodies go up to 3X online. They can go up to 5X, but the 4 and 5Xs for you fat niggas out there, they about $20 more. It's just they charging fat nigga tax right now for my vendors, so I got them listed 1 through 3. I mean, small through 3X. But if you want a 4 or 5X, I got you, but you got to email me directly. So, with that being said, let's get into it. Get this at DewanB.com. Let me see. There we go. Yeah, so he's setting up a trial basically to expose himself. And now he's snitching, and this isn't going to work out too well for Drake. Let's go to... Let me show y'all the news clip first. Let me show y'all the news clip first of what we're talking about, and then we will get into it. What's up, Woody Mays? I appreciate the super chat. Let's listen to what he's saying.
Okay, so Lamar hasn't said anything, Spotify hasn't said anything, but Universal Music Group did put out a statement denying the claim, saying they are offensive and untrue, and says the fans choose the music they want to hear.
Lies.
So I'm curious, what kind of evidence does Drake need to find in order to file a lawsuit?
Well, like you said, we already have a hearing date for December 20th, so it's what? 15 days from today, where Drake is looking for information, not necessarily evidence, but who can I subpoena? Who can I ask, either in an oral deposition where someone just gives testimony of, I saw this getting paid, I saw this getting moved, I saw this, or whatever it may be, or they get to submit written questions to ask those questions. They'll take that information and then kind of create a full-throated lawsuit where they'll make stronger accusations based on the evidence they've found. If you've seen something, you've heard something, any kind of paper trail, that all works for him.
Okay, so Lamar hasn't said anything, Spotify hasn't said anything, but...
So there you have it. It was announced on Good Morning America this morning that Drake's trial is set for December 20th. And that's interesting. Because I want to see what's the card of the day for December 20th. I think it's a Jack of Hearts. Oh shit, this is interesting. The card of the day for December 20th, the judge set this trial on a Jack of Hearts day. Drake is a Jack of Hearts. Woo, that's interesting. December 20th, the day of this preliminary trial, is a day of Drake's card. I'm going to have to do some reading on that. Not now, but as we get closer to the trial, I'm going to have to read that. Do a reading on what that's going to be about, because that's very interesting, because if these folks are very symbolic. Them setting that, because the Jack of Hearts is the card of the heartbreaker. The Jack of Hearts is the card of the preacher that smoozes you. the you know, the smoozer, the make it feel like it's your friend. But then that motherfucker will stab you in your goddamn neck. Like, let me give you some examples on why the Jack of Hearts is what it is. You ever look at the Jack of Hearts? What do you see? The Jack of Hearts has a feather in his lead hand and an axe behind the back of his head. You can tell a lot of the symbolism of what these cards mean, of the interpretation of cards, and I have this in my card reading class. The interpretation of these cards are on the cards themselves. This shows you, especially the face cards, the personality of these face cards are written on the cards. The Jack of Hearts is the one that comes to you real cool, like how Drake does, real cool. That humming ass music, you know, certified lover boy. He's a certified lover boy in the lead, but a certified, according to the song, according to what we suspect, I don't know, PDF file. That's the Jack of Hearts. So the way I read it is, that could be, the way I read this in the cards, this is, what can I say? The beginning of the end for Drake? I don't know. But I think it's very interesting they set the trial date for the date of his card. Does that mean they're going to pull his card? I don't know. But what does this mean when it comes to the music? Let me see if I can pull up some of these tweets. Because the way Universal's kind of playing around right now, the way they're fooling around right now, like Nicki Minaj, I'm trying to see if I can find the tweet. She asked Universal to basically bring the numbers. When Drake filed the lawsuit, she basically told them to bring the numbers, right? And after she told Universal to bring the numbers, out of nowhere, past tweets from Nicki Minaj showed up about her questioning why she didn't get the same treatment as Drake when that whole thing came out about Drake getting his music put in the gospel catalog on Spotify. So out of nowhere, you see the blogs. This tweet, when she talked about that, out of nowhere, this tweet comes out from 2018 with Nicki Minaj talking about putting Drake's playlist on everything, but told me they'd have to teach me a lesson. So this somehow these old tweets start coming out. So it looks to me as if UMG, and this is just my opinion, I'm suspecting, it looks like they're using that law on the 48 Laws of Power, where they talk about using a cat's paw. Oh, you want to start talking shit? All right, let me just start throwing some stuff out there on your ass. Out of nowhere, vibe. When you see things come out on the same day by the major places, this is an indication that the big boys are at play. All of a sudden, when she talks about it, so UMG is actually kind of being bold. They're very bold right now. They're very bold. Hot 97 talking about it. Hot 97 talking about it. When you see these concerted efforts like that, that's all curated. Universal also. Let me see here. Yeah, I can't find the tweet. UMG also let me see here. Let me see if this is it. Let me see if this is it. Here it is. Look at this. Universal Music Group, surprise album, surprise tour. Universal Music Group put out, they basically issued a statement promoting Kendrick Lamar's tour. That means they're poking at Drake. They going at Drake supporters, and they over here promoting Kendrick's tour, which is interesting because, you know, Drake has a 360 deal with UMG, so they make the lion's share of the money off of his tours. Kendrick has a distribution deal, a licensing deal, distribution and licensing through Universal Music Group. That means they don't control his tours. He's not under a 360. So Universal throwing their support behind Kendrick. Universal don't make money off of Kendrick's tour. Now, they are making money off Drake's tour in Australia. Matter of fact, Universal Music Group, since they signed into that 360 deal, they sent his ass to Australia and told him, you better go entertain them kangaroos, nigga. You burnt here in America. You better, nigga, we gonna sit your ass up on a kangaroo tour with Crocodile Dundee, nigga. Take your ass down there to below the equator on that big ass island, nigga. Go and kick it with the Aborigines while you're there. Learn some culture, nigga. That's what Universal said. They don't have no interest in Kendrick's tour. So that tells you that Universal is basically calling Drake's Huckleberry, because Spotify hasn't responded. The other platforms hasn't responded, like the news said. So what they're doing is they calling his Huckleberry. They said, I'll be your Huckleberry. And they playing. Usually corporations, when there's something going on, they go silent. If you got something on a corporation, usually they're going to go silent. Or they'll just deny everything and, you know, zip it up. When they deny everything and then start trolling you, they got a plan for you, homeboy. So let's get into like where this even comes from. So why is it important that we're talking about this payola thing? It's very big in a lot of ways. And in a lot of ways, payola has what's being used to control not only black music, but all music. Because there's a lot of dope-ass white artists that make white conscious music that fell victim to a lot of this shit too. And how these people don't push certain styles of music because of the content within the music. So it affects everybody. But it doubly, like anything else in America, it doubly affects black. Here's the reason. Historically, when you go to the 70s, there was a major payola scandal. First off, they've always paid record labels. They've always paid them. Everyone's always gotten paid. But the black artists are the ones who suffered the most from payola. Because when you get into the 70s, late 70s, a lot of your yacht rock, and I started getting on black radio. You know, and a lot of that had to do with some people suspect payola. And a lot of niggas are professional white ass kissers. Let's not ever act like that's not a part of it. But let me see here. There are different black artists and black DJs who fell biggest victims to these payola scandals. Two in particular, Jocko Henderson and Frankie Crocker. Let's go into some of the Jocko Henderson and Frankie Crocker and why they matter. But before we get into it, what I'm gonna need you to do, and mods help me out here, repost it. Go to intellectualpower.net. I'm sorry, intellectualpower.net. This is for that brain food. This is that get your mind right, get your mind sharp, using herbs and all the good stuff to get your mind sharp. This is a very, very, very powerful brand. And like I show y'all every time, I do one of these 3 times a day. Take these intellectual powers 3 times a day. You will goddamn guaranteed from me. Now, I'm going to say this. From my point of view, from my experience, my mental sharpness and acuities got a lot stronger taking these intellectual power. It's in the chat. My mods are reposting it right now. Go to intellectualpower.net. You feel me? So, we have this going on. So when we talk about this, let's talk about people like Frankie Crocker. Frankie Crocker was he's one of the originators of the black sound. If you wanted to be, when music was at its best in black America, he was America's black DJ out of New York and Philadelphia, Frankie Crocker. Him and also Jocko Henderson. And a lot of when I talk about the history of rap, a lot of your rapping that goes on that we talk about now in music, that comes from a lot of these guys right here. These guys right here were very, very, very key and essential to rap. And they would rap on the radio. They were also, gatekeepers for black music. And of course, Frankie Crocker took payola, but you also had to be good to get filtered through Frankie Crocker and Jocko Henderson. And when the industry was ready to shut down payola, they put Frankie Crocker basically as the face of payola. And they, after that, went basically, it even though he continued to do radio because they dismissed the charges, he got back on radio, but he was never the same. Never had the same, got the same positions. And for after the payola scandal of the late 70s, basically black radio sort of whitewashed itself. A lot of black radio started to whitewash itself and try to become acceptable to white advertising and white listeners. And white listeners and white advertisers still did not fuck with them. And a lot of black radio was killed off in the 70s. I mean, as time went on, 80s, 90s, because we pulled back the flavor, trying to appease a white sound. But so what we're seeing is, payola has always played a play in our music. But after Frankie Crocker and places like that started to go away and black radios started try to whiten itself more, you started getting these yacht rock acts, these white adjacent acts. You started to see all these black acts cross over, going into pop around that same time. You saw Lionel Richie crossover. You saw Peebo Bryson. All these people start really whitening their sound. And they did that to stay on black radio. Because a lot of black radio was so enthralled with what the white corporate side of black radio lost its authenticity, especially on the rhythm and blues side, when you get to the 80s and the 90s. And, so that's like historically one of the things that this whole payola thing, one way it damaged our music back in the 70s and 80s. Here's the difference. We're in a new time. It seems to me as if this shit's coming full circle. Now it goes from the payola scandal damaging in a lot of ways the variety in our sound to Drake's lawsuit possibly opening our sound up more. Because where there's smoke, there's fire. Drake only knows about Universal's tactics because allegedly, apparently, supposedly, he benefited from it. And he understands, allegedly, supposedly, I guess, he understands how they did it. So understanding both how they did it and how he benefited from it, he's thinking that's going to flip and work out in his favor and get the sympathy vote. Because them Jack of Hearts niggas like Drake love some sympathy. They emotional, very, very, very emotional dudes. They need love and sympathy. And so he's thinking he's been hurt. He's been heartbroken. He's no longer loved the way he always wanted to be loved. So Drake is wilding right now. Him doing this shit is ultimately gonna hurt him. Because you see by the moves Universal Music Group is making, they're not backing down. And the same tool that made you is the tool that can break you. Yeah, Jeffrey Osborne went whitewashed, yeah. You said intellectual power is great. You said for the intellectual power, or order 2 bottles so you re-up after your first 7 days on time. Yeah. That's right, business phone. But yeah, so this is something that, all right, Drake. All right. But that makes me want to transition to more so what's at stake. What's at stake more so is I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen with Drake, but it ain't going to be good as far as his career goes. Personally, I don't give a fuck about him. I only care about the career and the music. But I do think this is going to open up the sound moving forward for more musicians, more artists, because the most talented, best artists have been victims of this algorithm that favors these people played on the radio twice an hour. And speaking of Drake, y'all notice all his fans, like the people that's really, really, really supporting him, is it me or do they dislike black culture? Y'all notice that? I've been noticed they fuck with the black music, Drake fanboys. You ever notice that? you see a lot of anti-blackness coming out with this whole situation with Andrew Schultz. Y'all notice that? This Andrew Schultz situation got a lot of people who love our music, love what we produce, but don't really respect us. Y'all notice that? Y'all notice that? You seeing them come out? You seeing them come out and act a fool right now. You know, the white boy talking about some butt fucking, and look at how they're reacting. I want y'all to listen to this reaction from Rory and Mal over what Andrew Schultz had to say. I want y'all to listen to this.
I do understand somewhat of the outrage of people that are looking at this like, all right, Kendrick said something about you. Why are you making this a hip hop thing? Since if you just want to talk to Kendrick Lamar, talk to Kendrick Lamar. Why are you now trying to devalue hip hop? Even if there is some truth in what he's saying, I don't think we needed Schultz to tell us that hip hop has had a misogynistic history.
What?
But why can't it be about Kendrick? Like I laughed when he said, I'll fuck you in a jail cell. I thought it was funny.
Mm-hmm.
I'll make love to you. I thought it was hilarious. Mm-hmm. But I see why people are upset.
This
what the
Rory
fuck
talking.
Does Schultz have to say about hip hop when you're talking to Kendrick Lamar? Kendrick Lamar is not the face of hip hop,
but
he's not all hip. He's not.
So that's the first part I'm going to deal with. First part is Rory saying that hip hop, that, you know, the reason why Andrew Schultz is going at hip hop over the Kendrick situation. Let me tell you why. He made that's actually a good point he made. Let me tell you why. It's because hip hop culture is seen as Black American culture. I don't care what you people who like listening to rap say. I don't care what you people from the Caribbean say. Hip hop was always code word for Black American until y'all in the last 5 years want to start staking claim. Rap, hip hop, a hip hopper, that was always code for young Black people. That's what hip hop has always stood for in the eyes of white society. Hip hop stands for young Black people. That's what it means in the eyes of a suspected white supremacist like Andrew Schultz. So the reason why Andrew Schultz is going after hip hop is because hip hop is code for Black. The reason why they mention R. Kelly, Chris Brown sings, he doesn't rap, so what? Well, think about that. For all you people who like separate R&B from hip hop, Chris Brown is a singer. R. Kelly is a singer. R. Kelly doesn't rap hip hop. R. Kelly sings ballads. He's R. Kelly's classic rhythm and blues. So you ask yourself, why is R. Kelly and Chris Brown being associated with hip hop when Chris Brown and R. Kelly don't do hip hop? They do rhythm and blues. It's because hip hop is a code word for Black culture, Black society. And Andrew Schultz making the argument about hip hop is a way of him making an argument about Black society. You got to understand, the white supremacists use proxy words. They use proxy words when talking about groups of people. Hip hop is a proxy for Black people, specifically Black Americans. Specifically, exclusively, that's who they're talking about. And you people from Puerto Rico and Jamaica know, because if something bad happens, y'all damn sure fast to separate yourselves from Black America and say, I'm not Black, I'm Jamaican. I'm not Black, I'm Puerto Rican, or Puerto Rican, all that R rolling you niggas do. I know Black, I Dominicana. I know Black, I'm Nigerian. It's the reason why y'all do that. So make it very clear, Andrew Schultz making those comments about hip hop was code word for him talking about Black Americans. But let's go.
Not all hip hop.
But he
What does that
wasn't
have to
talking
do with
about-
what we're talking about?
No, I think he spoke about things directly associated with Kendrick.
He did, but I think what people are more upset about is not him saying, well, I guess some people are upset that he said he'd fuck Kendrick Lamar. But the overall outrage I've seen is, who is Schultz to criticize hip hop, and what does that even have to do with you and Kendrick Lamar? What?
That's always a slippery, because on one
Now that's the white dude talking. Now listen to this nigga talk. When I talk about Drake fans don't respect black people or black society, that includes black Drake fans too. Because there's a lot of black people that don't respect ourselves.
one hand, Schultz has obviously supported hip hop.
How
supports
has he
hip-hop.
supported
Wait, hold
hip-hop?
on. I don't want to make this like I'm going against Schultz, but I have to give some. Since fucking when has Andrew Schultz given back to hip hop?
Well, you said she giving back. Do you think that Andrew Schultz has ever purchased tickets to hip hop shows? Do you think he's ever purchased hip
Look at how
hop?
low. Just listen to how low Mal is going to accept disrespect because he's such a Drake fanboy. He's such a Drake fanboy that he's willing to allow his culture and his people in a cultural argument, because we all, anybody that knows what time it is, know that this is a cultural argument. He's sitting all that stuff down because he's a fanboy. It's a psychology to these Drake fanboys that's very consistent.
Do you,
I actually don't think.
all right, man.
I don't.
Y'all, all right, dog.
When
Y'all don't think Andrew Schultz has ever
Maybe.
been to a hip hop concert
Okay,
ever
cool.
in his life?
Cool.
Nobody in here thinks Andrew Schultz has ever been to a hip hop concert.
I don't think.
Oh, yeah, of course.
No, he's been to 15 50 Cent shows last year. I don't
So-
think he paid for the ticket.
I'm not saying. I said supported hip hop.
Okay, supported is paying. I don't think that he's spending money
Andrew
on
Schultz
hip-hop.
has a huge platform. Has he not supported artists in hip hop? Has he not spoken positively about artists in hip hop?
Oh, yeah, probably.
All right, then. So why are we so now that
But
he's
that's-
speaking?
that's
the line. Low.
No, I'm not saying he's responding to somebody sending.
Look at how low this Drake dick sucker got to lower the bar to elevate Andrew Schultz. The argument went from started at Andrew Schultz supports hip hop, and when his two co-hosts basically said no way and Sam fuck, is that true or possible? He lowered it. Well, Andrew Schultz listens to hip hop. No, that's not true either. Then he lowered the bar to, well, Andrew Schultz is going to a concert or two for hip hop. And no, that's probably not possible either. It probably didn't happen. Nothing, he never said anything about support. Well, Andrew Schultz had rappers on. You mean Charlamagne the God has had rappers on? That Andrew. You see how he had to keep lowering the bar? This is what I mean about these Drake fanboys not respecting the culture and respecting us as a people. And it's not all white people. It's not all. Where is Maul from? Is Maul Black American? Let me know, chat. Chat, what is it? Chat. Is Maul Black American? Because that motherfucker is like the levels he's going to show disrespect, to allow disrespect into the house of hip hop. The level he's going to allow disrespect within the house of hip hop. Uncle B, he said he whole American. He's Big's brother. That motherfucker must be sad at his brother. God damn it. Yeah, man. But you really seeing it in the music. I mean, you see it on the tweets. You see it from academics. Think about academics, another person that's a Drake Glazier. How could think about academics. Academics got his start with that crime series in Chicago, talking about all the shooting in Chicago. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember that? Academics literally got on being a tether to black culture, highlighting the worst of black culture. And now you see how he's acting. Even though academics, if y'all saw the other day, Not Like Us was in his top, Not Like Us was in his top 3. Look at this. Look at this.
Not Like Us.
For all that shit he talking, he's been standing for Drake and doing all this extra shit on his Twitter. But look.
Oh shit, I did show it.
Mistake.
Nah, Not Like Us is my number one. I ain't gonna lie to you. It was.
Look at this. Not Like Us and Euphoria in this nigga's top 3 played songs this year. Oh, Framey C. Blacker, appreciate the super chat. Much appreciated. Much appreciated on the super chat. I just want people to see this consistent pattern that we're getting. These are people who sort of come around and highlight the worst of Black America. Let's see here. I want to, it was something to have a bookmark. But like when you go through a lot of these tweets and the reaction, what people are saying from Andrew Schultz, and you see these niggas over here supporting that. You see these niggas supporting that bullshit. That's telling you something about who these people are. They don't really respect black people, black culture. They don't really respect the music because they're totally willing. These people are literally making excuses for somebody filing a lawsuit over a song. Kendrick wasn't lying when he said they not like us. Kendrick was not lying when he said they not like us, because they not. They motherfuckers is hoes. And now is a different time. See, look, I'm tell you something. Next year, let me get into these cards real quick. Let me get into these cards next year. Let's real quick. Drake's lawsuit is happening on a Jack of Hearts day. Next year is a 9 of Hearts year. 9 of Hearts, the card of endings, finalities. I said finalities. How do you say it, chat room? Finality, finite, finals. God damn it, I'm dyslexic and confused. Finality. Chat room, help me out. Type it in. The endings. That's what the 9 of Hearts represents. Finality. Finite. The ending of things. It's over. Either it's over. Either we gonna forgive each other and move on, or we're gonna end it. Finales. There we go. I knew that. Thank you, right out of the sun. I appreciate that. I was over here. I had a straight up dyslexic moment. Thank you. Conclusions. Thank you, marketing. Conclusions. Let's just go with that word. I can't seem to be able to talk to goddamn day. Conclusions. We don't go with that word. 9 of Hearts is conclusions. Either forgiveness or move on. So what Drake has, not just Drake, and just what we have to watch out for in this country next year. That 7 of Clubs and Mercury means people are going to be speaking with lawsuits. We're about to see lawsuits pop off a lot next year. There's gonna be a lot of people suing people. I can tell you off top of that 7 of clubs in Mercury. Next year, we're gonna have Queen of Spades and Mars. That's final judgment. So lots of final judgment going on next year. This past year, 2024, the Head of Hearts year, that was exposure. Next year is a year of judgment and endings. Either forgiveness and let it go, or judgment. King of Clubs and Pluto. Law. Yeah. Nine of Diamonds and Saturn. 9 of Diamonds and Saturn next year. Look for Cat Williams to have another explosive year next year. Cat's gonna be in the limelight next year again, because he's a 9 of Diamonds and Saturn. You might even see 50. Like next year's, if you're a 9 of Diamonds personality, if you're on a person, if your card is a 9 of Diamonds, if you walking in alignment with yourself, next year gonna be a good year. If you're not, but yeah, okay, yeah, next year. And that leads me to believe to talk about what went on. And I don't want to. Let me say this. I don't want. This isn't the card speaking. Okay, this isn't. I don't want to. What I'm getting ready to say next. I don't want to make it seem like predict this is how next year is going to be. Well, it's going to be somewhat like this next year. But I don't know if you guys have been following this story. But the man that shot the United health worker, a health CEO. A lot of this looks like, my initial thought of this was a murder for hire. Maybe someone was going down that he was about to I'm not sure. Maybe he was about to testify or something. No. This killer had I'm trying to look for it now. You saw how he had those bullets labeled? Yeah. Here it was. This made me think of the 9 of Hearts. A lot of like abrupt endings, brutal endings. This is part of a 9 of Hearts energy. Where did it say? Where is it? Here it is. No, I ain't donating shit to you, AP. Right here. Delay, deny, defend. This was written on the ammunition used to wax this motherfucker. This to me looks like an angry American or somebody that's angry at the system that has a vendetta to pay. I don't know who the fuck this dude is, and I'm 99% sure the government know who they are, and they about to get his ass real soon. This motherfucker ain't gonna get away unless he kill himself. They gonna get his ass. But him doing that, that's a message. That's a message. And the 9 of Hearts can brutally end things. It can. But it also has the ability to forgive beyond understanding. So these are the two directions things are going to be going in next year. Exposure and endings, not just death like this, but death of ideas, death of archetypes, death of concepts, death of emotional attachments that don't serve us. That's going to be one of the biggest things with the 9 of Hearts. A death of emotional attachments to things that no longer serve our greater good. But it's also going to mean a lot of forgiveness. A lot of stuff that looked like it wasn't going to come together. People coming together and letting it go. Not letting things linger. things don't linger after a 9 of Hearts year. Things get dealt with. Either we gonna end this or we gonna forget this. And it's a lot of that going on. So yeah, I heard that the media trying to pass that dude off as a light-skinned black man. Yeah, right. I know. I seen them try that shit. So yeah, this is interesting, y'all. This is very interesting. Very interesting. I think I might do a live later on today because I have been on a new kick, and I don't know if y'all been following my Twitter and my Instagram, but mostly on Twitter. I've been making them Hotep niggas mad at me, boy, because I've been talking about the European connection to Black American music. And we're going to have a talk about this over on Patreon. And over on Patreon, it's going to be a Patreon. It's going to be, I'm going to do it on Twitter also, but you're only going to catch it on Twitter live and Mixcloud. This is going to be one of those that we can't do on YouTube because I'm going to play some music. And we're going to talk about the European connection to Black American music. But when I say European connection, it's not the Europeans that you guys think of as Europeans. We're never taught about the Black European presence, the Moorish presence in Europe. And if they do somewhat bring it up, they'll keep it as only in Spain, only in the south of Spain. They never got past Spain. That's the half-truth that they like to tell. They don't tell you about the Black aristocracy in Germany, in Poland, England, Ireland, Russia. But a lot of those secrets are kept in Eastern Europe because Eastern Europe isn't as anti-Black, although very racist. They didn't go as far in their iconoclast erasures to erase us out of history like Western Europe did. So a lot of people be getting mad at me because I'm talking about people like George Bridgetower. Bridgetower was a Moorish composer out of England. Now, mind you, his family lineage dates back hundreds, probably well over hundreds of years in England. And he was a popular musician during the same time as Beethoven in the early 1800s. So one of the things that I'm on musically is talking about how, the Black folks basically invented the classical sound of Europe is Black sound too. And a lot of those people, when the Blacks were kicked out of Europe in the 1600s, 1500s, a lot of those people came to the Americas. And you can hear their sound in Boston, Philadelphia, New York, all along the New England coast. And they never talk about that sound and how it connects to Black music today. How when you listen to instruments, when you listen to people like Baroque and the harpsichord, they always say, okay, well, Black American music is all African because of the rhythms. And there are African rhythms in our music, not denying Africa, not denying Africa's place, not denying it. But they totally wipe out Black Europe's place in Black American music. They'll talk about, well, African music got a banjo. Well, when last time you heard a Black American song with a banjo? But you do hear the harpsichord. You do hear the harpsichord like in Barry White. You hear more classical music. Let me play something right here from real quick. Let's play some real quick. This is what we're gonna be talking about later on today. This is what we're gonna be talking about later on today. This is what we're gonna be talking about later on today. Let me show you something. Because I wasn't planning on doing this part for y'all, but I'm improvising right now. Let me see here. Here's a George Bridgetower composition right here. See how they're using the string instruments, the cellos? You know, that's a George Bridgetower composition. Let's go into a Baroque. We listen to Baroquean music. Let's listen to some Baroque. You hear that? And you hear the harpsichord in the back? You hear how Baroquean music had a harpsichord? Hear that? You know who else played with strings and a harpsichord? Who was that? Who was that? Who was that? Chat room. Who did I just play, chat room? What was that an intro? What song was that just an intro to that I just played? What did I just play? I'm waiting for one of y'all to answer me in the chat. Chat room, somebody in the chat room know the song I just played. What song was that? The last one. Come on, chat. Y'all got to know that. There we go. Who got it first? Accolade 310 got yours in first. Barry White. Did you hear much of a departure between Baroque and Barry White? It's a very deep connection to the sounds of Moorish Europe. And it's a more direct connection because at the end of the day, oh, Danny Michael, I appreciate the super chat. Appreciate the super chat. It's important that we explore this. It's important that we explore this here. Because they'll say, oh, black music is African because of the banjo. Well, question, when was the last time you heard a banjo played in black American music? But I can name plenty of songs the harpsichord was played in. And Moors are the ones who invented the harpsichord. You know where else you hear a harpsichord? Do you know where else you hear a harpsichord? What song is that, chat? What song is that, chat? What song did I just play? That was my father-in-law playing the harpsichord, by the way. That was my wife's dad playing the harpsichord. What song was that? What song was that, chat? Yep, I Want to Be Where You Are by the Jackson 5. I Want to Be Where You Are. We had the harpsichord all throughout Black American music. You hear that harpsichord? What song was that? What song was that? Got to Be There. You will hear a harpsichord on Black American music 10 times, 100,000 times before you hear a banjo. No, that song was arranged by Mr. James Carmichael, produced by Hal Davis, and James Carmichael was playing the harpsichord on those songs too. All you gotta do is listen. Don't listen to what they saying. Listen to the music. The answer's in the music. The answer is always in the music. The music talks to us. It tells us. We just gotta believe the music when it talks to us. So we're gonna talk about that later on today, all right? Thank y'all again for listening. I gotta get the fuck up on out of here. I got shit to do, but thank y'all for talking. Thank y'all for listening. And remember, there are no perfect messengers. Only perfect messages for those willing to pick up the game. Our culture is big. We must stop the cultural disrespect. We must call out cultural disrespect. And let's watch this hearing with Drake. That's going to happen on the date of his card, Jack of Hearts. Look that up. And also go get your readings. I think today's the last day you can book a discount reading. So if you want a discount reading at breakthroughcards.com, today's the last day you can book one. And the product code is Black Friday. Today's the last day. I extended my Black Friday sale by a week because my website was down last week. So breakthroughcards.com, today's the last day for the sale. Type in product code Black Friday. It's also the last day to get your hoodie and everything else, all the merch at the shop, 15% off. Today's the last day to get that, to make that happen. So go to DewanB.com for your discount and all that good shit. All right? Y'all have a good one. I'm out.